you to not only reestablish yourself in your career, but help this club out?
Yeah, it's a good opportunity. I think you look around the locker room and there's a lot of guys thinking the same thing. So, Alex and them do a great job of putting a good team together, and you know what levels you got to be up to be on that club. So, I know it's going to be a competitive camp, but it should be fun to get out there and compete.
Ian, at this point last year, we were talking about you working to get back to this team and rehabbing from your injury. We covered you, getting some minor league starts, and now here you are looking like you could be potentially a big part of this rotation. How's that rehab been going for you, and to finally get back to this point where you're going to be pitching some meaningful games?
Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. Like I said, it's where you see yourself at the end of it all, but obviously sometimes it doesn't quite happen as fast as you think. So, I always felt like I'd be ready when my name was called. So just waiting on that opportunity.
Was it a disappointment down the stretch last year to not get that call, or did you think maybe could you understand the decision that they wanted you to be 100% on?
Yeah, it's always disappointing. I mean, I feel like I've performed for this team in the postseason and in years past, but I completely understand too. I came out of the gate throwing the ball pretty well, and towards the end just kind of, I don't want to say hit a wall, but started to get some, more fatigued, and I was kind of expecting that. It was a long year, kind of just starting throwing so early and building up and doing all that stuff. So, I completely understood it, but like you said, you always want that chance.
First normal off season for you in
Yeah.
a while, right?
Yeah, it was great. It was like I said, it was nice to kind of be able to do the throwing I want to be able to do the training I want to be able to do in the gym, and not have any kind of restrictions, and just kind of free myself up even mentally, just to kind of get that self-confidence back of trusting what I'm doing, instead of someone telling you what you're doing.
Do you think it lights a fire under you a little bit more? Like you feel like you have a little bit to prove that you can be that guy that we saw a few years ago?
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge driving factor for me at this point. So, I know my situation, and now it's kind of about just going out and doing it.
How big was the number?
Guys always talk about like the mental stuff during Tommy John. What did you learn, and kind of how are you different now, mindset-wise, than you were before?
Yeah, I mean it wakes you up for sure. It's not every opportunity is the same, so you kind of realize that, and this game's tough. It puts that into perspective for you. You kind of feel like you come up and do well, and not that you coast, but you settle down a little bit, and it can bite you back real quick. So definitely learned a lot about that, and a lot of what I need to do to be successful, to stay healthy, to make the starts I need to make, and pitch well.
Was the number change a part of that change?
No, I think that I was 48 last spring, but I didn't put the jersey on at all, so you guys didn't know that. But
How's your delivery and repertoire compared to before? Did you make any changes along those lines, staying healthy? Or?
Yeah, just really trying to get back to where I was. That's a big part of it. I realized that I think what I was pretty damn good for a while, so mostly just trying to get back to that. Maybe adding a few things here and there that you guys will see, but other than that, just trying to get back to where I was and get back into a good mental space to go out and compete. And I think getting those innings under my belt last year was a big start for that.
Do you do anything mentally to combat the mental aspect of this game, whether it's coming back from Tommy John, but also not letting the pressure get too much?
Yeah, I mean, my wife helps me out a lot with that stuff, but talking to her, talking to other people that have been through it, writing some things down here and there seems to help me quite a bit.
How would you define a successful spring for you? Getting back into that starting rotation, is that how you see yourself by the time?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, kind of given my situation and being out of options, I think that's where I need to be.
How close is Ian Anderson right now to what he was back and what we saw in that World Series?
Yeah, I think pretty damn close. So it's exciting. I'm excited to get out there and be back with the guys. I missed out on that last year quite a bit. It all starts here, so it should be a good launching point.
I'm sorry. What'd you see from Drake down AAA to make you think this guy's going to be a good big player?
Yeah, he's awesome. I mean, I could stand here all day and talk about him. Just the best part about him is how good he is in the locker room. Loves being around the field. I think that's evident. He's probably one of the first guys to show up, last guys to leave. So I think that goes a long way, especially for that position. And obviously he can hit. Probably one of the better hitting prospects I've seen in a bit.
And he's learned a little more about calling games.
Definitely.
Communicating.
Definitely. And he tries and wants to learn all of that stuff. Wants to learn the pitchers, wants to learn the repertoire. And he's so easy to talk to and stuff that he's going to have no problem making relationships with pitchers.
What's it like having Strider back? And do you guys kind of, relate a little bit just because of the injury battle that both of you've gone through in your career?
Yeah, he's the heart and soul of this team. So it's obviously great having him back, and we've had plenty of good conversations about pitching and many of other things. So
There's always talk
we
about-
kind of get along pretty good.
There's been talk about his facial hair always with the mustache. This year he's coming in with a beard.
I see that. I
Right,
see
has there
that.
been talk about
I'm
the
sure
facial
that
hair?
will change maybe once the season starts. Once he's back pitching, I think that's kind of his MO. He might have to go back to the mustache.
If you guys, you were kind of around, say, 92, 93 last year. I mean, that's kind of normal, right? When you come back from Tommy John, it's not quite there.
Mhm.
You feel like you're back to 94.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was another big part of the offseason was, getting the volume of throws that I needed to get and, the proper rest to, when the time comes for the velo to be back. And I think when I came back at first, it was there. And then, like I said, kind of towards the end, it just kind of petered out a little bit. So.
And what were your thoughts when they went with AJ instead of me?
Yeah, I mean, disappointed obviously, but excited for him. I watched him throw for the 2.5 months I was there, and I understand the decision, but definitely disappointed that it was me.